Hey guys, Stephen Tony here, and I'm back with a brand new video. And I thought today I would share with you guys, how my journey to owning a all-region or region-free Blu-ray player came to fruition. Now, initially, my main reasons for going region free were to be able to get good copies of of shows like Monty Python's Flying Circus, and also to get these cool German releases of the Italian westerns, and the UK releases of the Eurocrime stuff, and some of the horror stuff. But the film that really propelled it all and made me say to myself, I need to get a player ASAP, is this classic here, Abel Gance's Napoleon. Now, I do have to go into a slight, backstory about how I found out about this film. So it's like 1997, 1998. I'm like 10, 11 years old, and the still big talked about hit of that period was James Cameron's Titanic. Now, my family and I watched that a lot for a long while, and I still think it's a very well made and very well done film. It's not one I watch all of the time anymore, but I do respect, James Cameron's dedication to the project, his wish to tell an epic love story and all that. So anyway, so there was that, and two of my father's favorite films were Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments, both starring Charlton Heston, which were like 3 hours plus in length. And I remember I was riding in the car with my dad one day, and for some reason I asked him what the longest film ever made was, and he told me it was this film right here. He told me it was this film about Napoleon by a Frenchman named Gance, and that it was purported to have ran something like 9 hours in length, which it actually did run at that length at one point, and I think it was 1927 or 28. It was done at a fairly low frame rate, hence why it was 9 hours. So I was, interested in that. I thought it was, cool. History was something I enjoyed from a long time back, as well as films. So, and then I'm not really thinking about it too much afterwards, because my, true passion for cinema really wasn't hit until high school. And of course, high school comes in, and I'm really getting into my own as a film buff. So I'm off and on reading stuff on the IMDb and the Wikipedia about in this film for years on end. And after a few years of just off and on reading, off and on hearing all this other stuff about it, the feud between Kevin Brownlow and Francis Ford Coppola over their, individual edits, and which is the, most faithful to Gance's original vision. I'm starting like to think by the time I'm in my late 20s that I'm never in a million years gonna ever see this thing. And then the BFI announces that, Brownlow has finally, completed his edit of the film. He found as much as he could, over the span of like 30 some odd years. I think he was, searching for all these like pieces, because, Gantz sadly had like 12 or more hours of footage in the can, and he was so distraught by how his initial edit of the film, hadn't gone over good. He just burned almost all of these cans, so only what we have now, is what's, left. So Brownlow finally finds all of this stuff. Like, he finally, edits it to a pace and a length, like, he's proud of. And the BFI announces it is going to do a special edition release of the film. Now, I'd been flipping and flopping through doing Rage and Free Playing for years, mainly because of all of the, film buffs from the UK, Netherlands, so on and so forth, who were able to get their hands on all of these great editions, from England, Germany, etc. And I'm like, and I'm finally saying to myself, I'm saying, why am I putting out money for either inferior product or no product at all here in the States, when I can be supporting companies, overseas, who do care about, films and care about, like what the, like fans are craving for, the majority, of the time anyway. So when this got announced, I'm like, I gotta get this. Like, I have to go in a region for free. So I finally ended up getting a few players on Amazon, because originally we had this place in the summer we had loved at, so I bought a player for there, as well. So it comes out now. It was expensive, at the time, and I was not in a, financial bliss yet. I'm still, average now, but like then I kind of was like, well, I have to be careful about, how much I spend and where I spend. So unfortunately, the Ultra Special Edition sold out fairly quick, but all hope was not lost, as this very nice standard edition came out. It still got all of the stuff from the first pressing. It's just like on the trade discs, which I like, actually. So yeah, when I was finally able to get a copy, I was like really excited, and at first I was nervous about seeing it, because I have this like huge grand picture in my head about it, and I'm not honestly sure if it will, be what's in my head. So I pop it in, and I actually spent about a week actually watching this. Like, since it's like, let's see, like see if I can see it here. Oh yeah, since it's like 332 minutes, 5.5 hours worth of stuff. I'm like, I am not sitting through one sitting, on this. So for about a week, I just spent, about 45 minutes to an hour a day watching it, and I was blown away. It was everything I had hoped it was, and even some more, actually. I was never the biggest fan of color tinting, but for some reason here it works. The guy who plays Napoleon as an adult, Albert Dudon, he was amazing in the part. He did look a little, or at least looked what was reportedly supposed to be Napoleon's likeness. And he was just like, he was excellent. In fact, at one point, shooting actually had to pause because Dudon had got so into studying Napoleon, and what have you, that Napoleon's personality actually overwhelmed him, and he had to spend like a few months in a psychiatric hospital to actually get him out of his head. And of course, afterwards, he would act a bit more, but then spent the remainder of his life as a lecturer on the life and times of Napoleon, and still did quite well for himself either way, and the finale, at the end, one of the first, if not like the first usage of the panoramic widescreen effect. Oh god, it's breathtaking. Oh man, it is just, oh man, it was like really good. It was beautiful, like, to see. And I was quite surprised, like, how faithful to history Gantz was with this, because, like, again, like, this film only covers when, like, he's a boy in military school, to when the early senses of the revolution are hitting France, when Robespierre, Marat, and I can never recall the other guy's name, but when like they first really started to plan against the royal family and the aristocracy, and move in, and like, and of course, here, and of course here, Napoleon is being depicted, as the young, as the young, idealist soldier, who wants to, like, save his country. Had Gantz been able to and continue, it would have, shown also his descent into tyranny, the breakup of his marriage to Josephine, his eventual defeat, at Waterloo, his exile on Elba, like, and so on and so forth. But what we have here is quite good, and it's interesting because everything I've known about Napoleon up until that point is when he was like trying to invade everywhere and shake everything. So to kind of see him as this idyllic young man who has every faith in his country, who wants his country to prosper again, who wants to do everything he can to make it a good place again. And then to know how he sort of ended up, in exile, sort of hated in a way. So I thought it was just a really good, different, time period on his life. So yeah, and the BFI did an excellent job on this Blu-ray release. It is one of the crown jewels of my collection. I was very, very happy to import this. I haven't gotten into the special features yet all the way, but the film itself is beautiful. It really is like a work of art to behold. Everything's framed well. It's almost like looking at a consistently moving painting. It is that good. I was surprised on the cover they have this quote from Stanley Kubrick, because I knew in the 70s, I think, he was kind of crapping on the film because his own desired project about Napoleon had to be aborted for all sorts of varied reasons. That's actually a good story in and of itself, to read about. But so I think he always kind of held some jealousy towards Guns for being able to do what he dreamed of doing. Wasn't able to, but again, it's just me. Obviously, I do agree fully with Martin Scorsese's quote here. It is true, and the score by Carl Davis is really nice as well. So yeah, I give this a full 5 out of 5 stars. It's that good. Good. The pacing is good. It's not. It's not. Drawn out. There's never a dull moment in the film at all. Gantz wastes no space at all. There's nothing that's there as filler, or as, unnecessary, everything fits. Even this section in which, the one, start of the revolution, Morat, yes, yes, him. The scene where the royalist sympathizer stabs him in his bathtub. Gauntz actually got the actor who played him to do the pose exactly as he'd been found in real life, and also in that famous painting that's, done of him, after having been stabbed. Like that's artistry right there, to have the actor be able to mimic that pose almost 100% exactly. Like that's amazing to me. So so that's pretty much it on that talk. I do hope y'all enjoyed this. I was really excited and happy to film this. I've only shared this story, I think, with a smaller group of people. So to be able to share it on here on YouTube, be able to preserve it on here is cool to me. And again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notific- notification button. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.